This is an empty map, and today I have to double $1,000 every hour until I can't. To keep track, in the top left corner we have this timer. Every hour, before it hits 0, we have to make our payment. Once we do, the next payment doubles. So how many hours until we can't double it? Of course, we're going to need a map. Let's go with this one. And I have a really good name, Dublin, because we're doubling. Get it? Yeah, okay, moving on. And here is the map. This is our starting tile. Now the first few hours are going to be a cakewalk, because our payment's only $1,000. But we cannot get complacent, because the starting is all about getting the foundation set up to make us as much money as possible later on. Here are all the rules I'm personally following. Let's get started. Now first things first, we need to get as many people into this tile that we own. And right off the bat, I'm going to upgrade this 4-lane highway into a 4-lane road, and we'll remove the lights. No, we can't remove the lights. Now the reason why I want this to be a 4-lane road is because traffic flow is going to be extremely important. So what we really need here is a very free-flowing grid with grid access. Because we only have low density unlocked, that's all we're going to zone in for now. And right, utilities. I totally forgot about utilities. Let's go with the France water tower, because this is actually a 2-in-1. Which means we now have sewage and water taken care of. And thankfully we have these connections right here, so what that means is we can import power. We'll add in the Netherlands substation right here, and then along our main road, I want to have some waterfront commercial. From here on out, I need to simulate in 3 times speed, because we cannot slow down in this challenge at all. We also really can't be wasting the only room that we have, so let's expand our grid down here as well. And to help traffic, I'm planning on making a connection into this highway in the future. So because of that, I'm going to upgrade this to be a 4-lane road, and I'll rework this connection. And we have hit milestone 1. Yes, thank you. This is going to unlock signature buildings, which we really need. And it allows us to unlock advanced road services, which is exactly what we need to get rid of these crosswalks and these lights. There we go, that is so much better. And we really need to get started on the industrial, and that is perfect. The wind is blowing this way. So we want to try and concentrate our industrial around these tiles. So let's buy this tile right here. Now we're going to have to quickly expand the grid. Disgusting. Get off of our main road. One more thing that we have to watch out for is the ground pollution. So I'm going to try and keep the majority of the industrial closer to the highway road. And I am only now just realizing we unlocked medium density. Let's get this in right by the beach. And at 715 population, we are officially profitable. But that's only because we haven't added in any services yet. The unemployment is currently 19%, and I've been trying to avoid adding too much industrial because I don't want to pollute the ground too much, but it doesn't seem like we have a choice. And there we go, 2.5%. All we had to do was add this. Now I want the XP from these signature buildings, and what better place to add them in than right beside the industrial. There's a gas station, a pub, another pub, and there is milestone 3. Now that we're finally milestone 3, there is something really important that we have to do. First, let's check our natural resources, and what we're looking for is land fertility. And so it seems like we want to buy a few tiles down here. That's going to cost us $50,000. Now the reason why we need the land fertility is because we have these signature buildings, and these can be unlocked from producing a variety of different goods. Now the base buildings themselves don't really matter. What does matter is the bonuses that they give. And I'll show you what I mean. First, let's get a basic grid built out. Okay, that took way longer than I thought it would. We've only got 8 minutes left on the clock. The only thing that matters is that we get as many farms and as many different types of farms into this land. So there's grain. Then we need ore mining. And thankfully we have a little bit of ore here to make this look more like a mine. I'm going to flatten this out. We'll add the ore mining right there. Now we only have 3 minutes left and I'm starting to panic. So let's just pay the 1,000. Our next goal is 2,000. So what we need next is some stone mining. Now here is our coal mining. And with that, we have hit milestone 4. We unlock quite a few different buildings, but until we get all of this industrial set up, none of it matters. There's really 2 more that we have to do. That's forestry and oil. But I'm honestly not sure if we do have oil close to us. No way. I'm gonna place it right here. And then finally, only one more left, and that is forestry. Wait a minute. We've already unlocked the blast furnace. That is massive. This building is a crazy polluter, but it is significantly better than any of this industrial. And I'll show you why very soon. We're almost there, I promise. Although this building is a very big boy. We barely have any room for it. And there we go. This is operational, and you can just see all the people leaving. Where are you going? We're hiring. We'll set you up with a real nice job. Just come over to Smelt and Blast. And oh my god, that ruins the city. It looks so bad. But it doesn't matter, because we're going to start moving our way through the supply chain pack. And as we do, we're going to unlock these upgrades. This one gives us a 5% industrial efficiency boost citywide. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but when we stack up every single one of these buildings, it's gonna get crazy. Okay, that took way longer than I thought it would, which is kind of scaring me for the later rounds. We can see that we have a clear lack of labor back over in our main town, and that also is true for this area as well. So these businesses are operating at a 56% efficiency because they don't have enough employees. And that is exactly why I left all of this room for residential. I don't know how the pollution will be, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, it's not that bad. Just whatever you do, don't develop across this line. So now we'll have even more residential over here. Let's quickly check our production, and we're pretty much green on everything except for metal ore and fish. Now looking at our signature buildings, we have tons of them. The dairy house, the cereal mill, the livestock processing facility, the energy drink bottling plant, the athletic wear factory, the rocket fuel refinery. We have more. The steelworks, we just unlocked the particle board factory, we have the concrete batch plant, the nanopolymer synthesis unit, the casting fabricator, and the gravity separation unit. And also now the fabrication unit. This is all really great, but we don't have the population to support this. So that means we're gonna need these tiles. And that's a bit expensive, but we have to do it. We need to expand, we have no choice. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of deforestation. And then finally, all we have to do is extend the grid. Wait, what? We can't build roads. Oh no, what have I done? We only have 13 minutes left and we can't even pay the 2,000. I'm kind of panicking. I don't know how I got so carried away. We'll add in as much residential as we can get. And yes, we have office demand. This probably won't matter too much, mostly because we already have a lack of labor. But at this point in time, I will take any revenue. We are not losing this early. I refuse. And we're already out of demand. This is not looking too good. We have a crime problem, and we have houses burning down. I think we just need to add on these industrial buildings, and hopefully that'll help. This one alone is going to boost our efficiency, but it's not going to matter if we still have not enough employees. Wait a minute. We just hit milestone 5. We are now a tiny town, which means we're officially out of the hole. Thank you, game. I'll try and do better from here on out. The timer is just so intimidating, but I think the actual problem was that I just spent too much money on trees. It's just so hard when the area looks so ugly without it. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left. I'm not a functional human being, so I don't want to forget. Let's pay the 2,000 early, which means our next goal is 4,000. And apparently that's harder than I thought it was going to be, which means now it's time to bring out the big guns. 400 XP, another 400, 800, 600. And there we go, milestone 6. And it's about to get even more broken. So we have the baker and confectionery, then we have the antique store, and this is going to help boost our demand and provide a well-being bonus within 500 meters, reduce our import costs, and make our city more attractive. But these pale in comparison to these ones. This one right here is going to boost our export profits by 5%, our industrial efficiency citywide by 5%, and entertainment, but who cares about entertainment? Now at the moment, we're only getting a 7% industrial efficiency boost, which is nothing. Now that is all of our buildings in, and somehow we're now making $25,000 per hour. And that's because we are getting a 102% industrial efficiency boost. And I gotta say, that is so broken. And we still have more buildings that we're gonna unlock soon. But now that we're profitable, we don't have to worry so much. Let's give our citizens some services. Here's a police station that everyone keeps complaining about. And I guess we can add in a fire station. Next up, they're gonna need a school. So here's elementary, and there goes all of our money. 40 minutes on the clock, and there's one big thing that we need to focus on, and that is expanding our population as much as we possibly can. And then I'm going to go around and find any low density, and then we just need to do a little bit of upzoning. We want either medium or high density, because right now our unemployment rate is way too low. We want this to be somewhere around 3 to 5%, but it's mostly just because higher density makes way more money. So let's get some high density housing right along our beach. And oh yeah, I developed out this area. It's mostly medium density, and then it looks like we are having some traffic issues. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The connections into this grid aren't really the greatest. There is an easy fix though. But to be fair, this is still just one giant cul-de-sac, and there's not much we can do about it until we have more tiles. And we've cracked $1 million. Okay, I got a good feeling, And I can feel the complacency starting to kick in. The biggest bottleneck is going to be the simulation time. I just know it. We have all of our high density concentrated at the end of this road, and that's just awful. So let's buy all of these tiles, and even with that, we're still making a whole bunch of money. Now I'm going to develop out this entire area, which is why I'm going to upgrade this to be a 4-lane road, and then we're going to send this all the way down until we meet back up with the 2-lane highway. And now let's take a quick look to see what we need. And our services are just awful. Okay, let's start there. Here's another small medical clinic. Oh, we should definitely add in some parks. And look at that. We are pretty much all green. Oh wait, we don't have enough water. This little guy right here has been carrying the entire city this entire time. So let's pump a little bit of water over here. And now we're pumping about 5 to 6 more times water than we need, because I don't want to have to worry about it. So, with 20 seconds on the clock, let's pay. Our next goal is 8,000. Okay, 30 minutes on the clock. We have 2 major problems that we need to solve. First, we have a 20% unemployment rate. Second, we have garbage piling up in the industrial area. And the problem with that is it tanks their efficiency all the way down. But that doesn't seem to be the reason why this building is failing. This building has a lack of resources. So we actually have 3 problems. But let's worry about one thing at a time. So we need to take care of the garbage. But I think a landfill is a waste of time, so let's unlock the incinerator and the recycling center. The only thing that scares me is that these are both expensive buildings. But I also don't want to deal with garbage ever again. So there's the incinerator, which gives us Milestone 9, and there's the recycling center. We only have $413,000 left. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Between the upkeep for all the tiles and all the services, I feel like it's slowly going to start eating us alive. I hope that's not the case, but we're going to find out. Our next problem was unemployment, and funny enough, it's only gotten higher. So let's dedicate some of this land to office. And that's all the office demand we have, so let's try and solve the lack of resources. Now this building requires metal and coal, and it makes steel. And yeah, we have a 115-ton deficit in metals. And that's not surprising given that I bulldozed most of the industrial that can make it. So let's add in some more industrial here, but this is still a pretty far trip for everyone that lives over here. So let's also build a second industrial area. We're going to place it right across from this highway. How can you possibly have a lack of labor? It doesn't even make sense. Can you just be patient and wait a second? Yeah, that's what I thought. And now our unemployment is doing way better. But we still only have demand for low density residential, so let's just add in a crazy amount. And we're also going to need a high school. I totally forgot about the high school. And look how quickly we burned through money. We used to be at 2 million. And just like that, we're at 94,000. That right there is how quickly expansion can kill your budget. And you gotta be kidding me. How do we still have garbage? What are these 2 doing? Okay, they're using 0 out of 15 vehicles. Great. What about you? 0 out of 50 vehicles. What is your problem? Get in the damn vehicle, drive down the alleyway, and go pick up garbage. No, okay, yeah, fine, whatever, I see how it is. What if I gave you a second connection? Oh, there we go, they're all leaving. They just really don't like this road for whatever reason. Oh, it's a one-way. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, there we go, now we see a bunch of garbage trucks leaving. And Cynthia Perkins, you are sad, walking along the highway, and going to 43 Empire Street. What are you so sad about and where are you coming from? Yes, this building finally has the resources that it needs. It just has some minor issues that we'll get to once we have more money. You know, I've spent this time watching the city, and for something that I made in 4 hours? It's not that bad. Oh wait, we have 10 seconds left. Let's pay the 8,000, which brings us to 16,000. Let's get done the important stuff first, because the rest of it is just stuff that I'm gonna breeze through. First, let's add in a medical clinic for this area. I keep seeing all the ambulance icons pop up, and it's starting to drive me a little bit insane. Anyways, we still have 2 more services, and these are both really important because they're currently impacting our demand. So first, we need the telecom tower. Now look at that telecom coverage. It's solid. The next thing is mail, and my plan is to add in the Westmont Tower, because it's going to give us negative 5% building leveling cost citywide. All of these buildings are going to level up faster, which means they're going to pay us more money. But we need Milestone 10. Finally, Milestone 10. And you're kidding me, we unlock so much. There's Barnes & Noble right on the waterfront. Then we can use the energy lobbying office and the steel building to break industrial even more. We are getting a 145% boost, and that is going to be massive because look, we're making $112,000 per hour. Now finally, let's add in the Westmont Tower. Now for the next 46 minutes, my plan is to expand out to all of these areas. Here's most of the development done. The biggest problem is the lack of demand, and I think we might have to improve our services, which means we're gonna need a big hospital. And I did not realize how expensive these would be. Oh, but look at this one. Now this is a hospital, and it comes with some upgrades to a helipad, yes. I'm surprised to see that we don't have... Never mind, we do have traffic. Where is it coming from? It's down here as well. Never mind, it goes even further. Yeah, that makes sense. I just zoned in a crazy amount of density, and so now we have a crazy amount of traffic problems. As long as it doesn't go to the outside of the map, I'll be happy. Yeah, just barely. So right now, all the traffic gets stuck in this roundabout. Traffic shouldn't have to go all the way around here to get to the densest part of the city. Instead, what we can do is provide a connection into this 2-lane road. Okay, and I've made a few fixes, but they clearly haven't helped in the slightest. We now have this bypass, and the bypass is jamming. Oh my god, we have 10 seconds left. Pay the 16,000. Holy, okay. That was too close of a call for me. And we're making $342,000 per hour, and we only have 33,000 population. It's honestly kind of a bit ridiculous, but I am going to ruin that slightly. We really need more demand. So we're going to drop the taxation down for office to 6%, and we'll do the same with residential. Okay, now hour 6 was pretty straightforward. All I did was upzone any low density, because if we can get the population higher, we'll make more tax revenue. I created all of these districts, and I did it in the most lazy way possible, and that's because I noticed we had service vehicles driving to the other side of the map. I also built out the roads and services for this area over here, and I'd say for the most part, traffic has calmed down a little bit, but I don't want to focus on it too much, mostly just because as long as the vehicles can get into the city, it shouldn't impact our income too much. Now we are 2 minutes away from hour number 7, and I say let's just pay the 32,000. And I mean, so far, the challenge has been a cakewalk. I am trying really hard to stack as much money into the bank as possible, because the more money we have in the bank, the more we'll be able to pay and keep up with all of these hours. I am noticing we're having some power issues over here. Yeah, just on time. And the tile upkeep and the cost are both getting dramatically higher, which is starting to scare me a little bit. So let's build a geothermal power plant. Now when we take a look, we shouldn't have any power issues, right? Right? Okay, wait, no, we have a bottleneck here. So we'll add a transformer station in the industrial area. And just like that, the bottleneck goes away. And actually, we should be exporting power too. Yeah. So now we're making $216,000 for the electricity that we export. Now, I'm going to drop the service fee for water all the way down to 0%. This is going to give us an efficiency boost and a happiness boost. So more demand, more money. Let's do the same thing for electricity. And wow, look at that traffic. The traffic that we are going to ignore. Now for this hour, let's continue to do some upzoning. And there's all of our higher density demand. And I'm wondering if our park coverage is impacting our demand. And yeah, it's gotta be. That is so bad. And the people who live in these buildings are saying the same thing. There's a -4 for lack of entertainment. So let's add the fanciest park that we can possibly add. And the White House would be kind of funny. We'll just have to do a little bit of deforestation. Let's add in the White House right there. Now, is this a good enough park? No, not even close. I really thought it would have been. That's fine though, because over here, we can add in the Botanical Garden. And what better place than somewhere where we have to bulldoze a bunch of low density. Although I wish it wouldn't come back. Don't make me feel bad. Then we can have some waterfront commercial. And now is it all green? I mean, outside of the industrial, it's all green. But I mean, who cares about the industrial? Why would they need a park? They definitely wouldn't. Actually, you know what? Let's give them a park. They work hard and they definitely deserve one. So let's give them one windmill. There's your park. Are you happier now? Kind of. But all that matters is that I'm happier. There is one thing that I think we need to focus on, and that is improving education across the board. Only 9.8% of the population is highly educated. And that creates a tiny problem. We have no office demand, and so our unemployment is 11%. That's fine though, because we can build the grandest and greatest university to ever exist, and we might as well get rid of some of this low density, so right here is the perfect spot. Let's go with the University of San Diego. And this comes with a bunch of upgrades. And we also get Milestone 13. A bunch more skyscrapers, that's great. We'll get to that in a second. I need to fix whatever the heck this is. And I think that should be good enough for the time being. We have a capacity of 8,460 students, and we already have 3,000 students attending, which is honestly pretty good, especially given the fact that I have basically ignored education this entire time. And I am just going overboard with spending money, but that's a future loon problem. So there is our jungle university, maybe a few too many trees. We should start to see the number of highly educated people go way up, which should improve our office demand. And look at that, finally, we actually have office demand, which means we can replace some of the low density with some high density office. Oh wait, we have a garbage problem? It's not really that far, but given the way that I've designed these grids, it's very disconnected. A big help would probably be reducing some of these bottlenecks. Okay, now it's time to get back to ignoring traffic and look at the office. It's so obnoxious. I love it, although I definitely wouldn't want to live here. Can you imagine this? You step out the door and think, what a nice day. Okay, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to spend 3.2 million on all of these tiles and see how much I can develop before the time runs out. And honestly, it's just kind of pathetic. 50 seconds left on the clock, and for that entire time period, I was only able to build this much grid. Nothing's even been zoned in yet. And this is a pretty straightforward grid. I mean, it's definitely a little bit crazy, but I feel like this shouldn't have taken 20 minutes. That is what I like to call classic time blindness. Let's pay the 64,000, and now we're at 128K. Let's zone all of this in, and I'm scared this is gonna zone in awfully, but we're gonna do it. We only have so much time, and we can't waste it. Now I'm just going to extend the grid out, but first, I think we need to add something here, because I keep forgetting about things like parks, and I don't want to do that over and over again, because it's just going to keep killing our demand, and I'll have to fix it later on. So let's add a lighthouse right here, which is technically a park. Here is the St. Paul's Cathedral, and I think this is going to be really great, right by the water. Oh wait, it costs 10 million? For some reason I thought, maybe it's 120K, 300K, but no, 10 million is a bit expensive. And this is a giant cul-de-sac, but I'm going to try not to care. Now with our beautiful park ready to go, I'm going to extend the grid, connect everything in, do some more zoning, and this area over here is officially done. A crazy amount of low density. And I totally forgot to add services. Here's a crematorium right in the middle of the grid, and everyone loves that. Amazing. Now, I've been trying to add a bit more density over here, and it's been challenging because we have next to no demand. And honestly, I think traffic might be impacting this, because if we look all the way down here, we are pretty much blocked right up until the bridge. My first solution was a little bit crazy because I didn't really care. But now that I think it's impacting our demand, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to build a proper bypass, so we're going to need all of these tiles. And now that gives us 2 bypasses. And they're each doing their own unique job, and I would really expect to see this traffic go away. Now we have a crazy amount of traffic backing up on these roads, and that's because these transport trucks are actually delivering concrete to these houses so that they can use the concrete to level up. We're gonna bulldoze all that low density so we can add in this beautiful roundabout, and I don't think citizens should be walking across. This is not the safest place. Here, don't worry, I can do something better for you guys. You don't need to cross the crazy traffic. Instead, you guys can cross this crazy monstrosity of a pedestrian overpass. Although, I gotta say, this entire thing is nightmare fuel. But take a look at that. Okay, never mind, don't take a look at that. All of our traffic has just decided to back up here instead, which I probably should have seen coming. But honestly, it's not that bad because it is flowing smoothly. Until you get to down here. Okay, you know what? Extra big roundabout, there we go. Yeah, it's definitely a bit better. But I stopped caring about how this city was designed a long time ago. Now we are 40 seconds away from this hour being done. Let's just pay the 128K, which means our new payment is 256,000. We are so insanely profitable that we haven't had a single challenge yet. Now for this entire next hour, I'm just going to keep pushing, keep developing, and try and stack up as much money as I possibly can. There is one building that I want to place in though. That is the Bank of America Plaza. This building would look so cool right along the water. And oh my god, I just realized, I never added road maintenance, did I? No, never. Which is why the road condition is pretty much awful everywhere. And this could be impacting traffic. So let's add in a few of these facilities. Oh, and park maintenance too, how could I forget? We may not even be getting the bonuses from the parks because we have no maintenance. Okay, now this should definitely be enough to sustain this entire city. The only reason why I added this many in the first place is because we have a massive network. And you can see that the vehicles are going all the way down to the trumpet, and they're getting everything nice and fixed, so I hope this impacts traffic, which therefore gives us high density demand. And with that, we have the end of hour 9. There is the 256K. And basically, all I did was build more suburbs because no matter what, I can never quench the low density demand. I'm also paying people to come here because I'm sick of not having demand. So our next goal is 512K, but we're making so much money, I don't know how we're gonna lose. It feels very difficult to lose at this point in time. Even though the tile upkeep for the suburbs is expensive, it's literally nothing in comparison to how much it makes. Including the fact that we're paying people to live here, we still make $4 million every month. I don't know, just based on how it's going so far, I feel like we could easily get to $1 billion. Okay, now I'm noticing that a lot of our businesses are having high resource costs. And this is kind of a problem, because if any of these businesses start to fail, the backbone of our entire economy, which is industrial, is going to tank. And if that tanks, you can see what happens. And it's honestly kind of weird because we don't even have that much industrial, but yet it's so profitable that it carries us without even trying. There's also a second issue with this. Our office is the second biggest revenue generator, with the primary source being software. And software requires electronics that the industrial can make. And so if they don't have enough software, they can actually lose out on efficiency, which means the entire economy can tank in a second. In fact, now we're only making 90K per hour, which is a little bit concerning. And just like that, the industrial has went down to 8.5 million. So we need to solve this. We have a massive deficit in grain, fish, but who cares about fish, vegetables, cotton, oil. We have an 857 ton of electronics, and that is exactly what the office buildings consume. We have a 2 kiloton deficit in timber, which is what buildings use to level up. So clearly we need to solve some of this, and I think the best place to start is going to be in metal ore and stone. And because the wind is blowing that way, we are set to turn this entire thing into at least a coal mine. And I want to keep this extremely simple because I don't care if this area looks good in the slightest. We also have oil too. While we're here, we might as well use it. And apparently, all of this still isn't enough to solve our deficits. In terms of raw resources, stone is definitely the worst offender, so fine. If the game wants more stone, it can have more stone. Okay, now surely, all of this has to be enough. This one stone mining company is producing 270 tons of stone. Yes, finally it is enough. We have a 276 ton surplus of stone. A surplus in coal. A giant deficit in metal ore. But I honestly don't care. We have improved our supply chain like crazy. We're making more money. And do these businesses still have high resource costs? No, they don't, and that is exactly what you want to see. Look at this. 350% efficiency. What does that even mean? I don't know. But they're profitable, which means they're paying us money. Now there is still one more component to this. We have the raw resources, but we also need more industrial, because we still need more companies to actually make the electronics. And there's a bunch more industrial. Look at that, no more industrial demand. And we have unlocked the chemical plant, which I don't really care for unless... Does it boost our efficiency? By itself, it's not much, but once we add on all of the extra bonuses, it's insane. 153% total. Absolutely beautiful. Now we still have 22 minutes until we have to pay. And honestly, I'm feeling really confident. So I'm just gonna let it simulate. All right, 1 minute, 30 seconds away, and we are even more profitable. We now make 15 million from industrial. Like surely we could just keep stacking all this over and over and over again and just make infinite money. Let's pay the 512k, which means our next target is 1 million. And honestly, it's just a bit too easy. So here's another million, here's 2 million, 4 million, and 8 million. Finally, now we have a goal that we can't instantly pay for. And I feel like we needed that because given those next 4 hours that the game would have simulated, we wouldn't have had an issue. So this makes the challenge a little bit more fun. And I don't know what's going on, but it seems like now that I've paid this, the city is starting to have some problems. Oh yeah, it looks like chaos down there. That's what I get for using primarily 2-lane roads. Okay, so we just need a little bit more capacity. And that's gonna get rid of a lot of stuff. But it's either that or Death Wave. Let's do it. It kinda hurts the soul, but yeah. Now we have a bunch more capacity. And I totally forgot, we have a bunch of skyscrapers. We don't need this peasant medium density because we can just place this massive building in. Now that is high density. Exactly what I wanted a few hours ago. I'm surprised to see that the noise pollution is so bad. Oh, okay, never mind. It is honestly way worse than I thought. It doesn't really seem to be impacting anything though. Sure, these people aren't happy about it, but I mean, it says right there, in general, they're happy. And that's because they're getting a 33-point boost due to proximity effects. Do they really like it here, or are we just forcing them to like it? Now I've done the math, and I actually am a bit concerned. Paying the 16 million is going to be easy. The 32 million is what scares me. There's two places we can pull from. First, we could increase the residential tax, but I don't want to do that just yet because we need more demand. And second, we could expand industrial because it is making us the most money. This is what we're gonna do. All of the air pollution is blowing this way, so let's buy all of these tiles. And now this entire area is just going to become industrial. And thankfully that should help with the unemployment, which is currently 25%. And there's most of the industrial filled in. There's a few signature buildings that we can still unlock, and given that we're making 800k per hour and 27 million from industrial, I think this is going to be a smart play. Now the first one is actually easy. We're just going to place in a bunch of these forestry hubs, and there we go. That unlocks the paper factory, which we're going to place in right here. The pharma building and the oil refinery, they both require 2 universities. This is going to give us another 2% boost, and then all we need is the technical university, and this is a big boy, and let's place the oil refinery right here. And these two are pretty much useless. And look at that, we make $1 million per hour. Industrial is now making $35 million. This basically means that the rest of this challenge is dependent on how fast we can simulate. We're simulating at close to 4 times speed, but if this ever drops down to 1 or 2, we're gonna be in trouble. And even with all of this industrial, somehow unemployment is still 14%. And maybe it's just because it's too hard to travel here. Let's pay these 16.3 million because we still have 34 million in the bank. And given that the industrial makes 35 million, and that our unemployment is still somehow 10%, which I feel like doesn't even make sense, all we're going to do is expand the industrial. But this area already has crazy traffic, and I don't want to waste time fixing it, so instead, let's build some more industrial over here. And just like that, we are good to go. I'll be very surprised if this area doesn't back up with traffic immediately, because it is just a very, very bad setup. And it's funny because I initially planned to add in transit, but just based on the money we're making, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, wait. This is the exact thing that I wanted to avoid earlier. This could be a downside to traffic. This company has high resource costs, and they're primarily looking for stone, but we solved stone, so we shouldn't have any issues. It's so unreasonable. We have a 2 kiloton deficit. Let me guess, all of these companies are stone. Stone. Every single one of these with the icon is stone. I really don't want to see all this industrial die because there's no way we're going to be able to keep up with this. So here is a local stone mining company in your backyard. 53 tons? That's it? You are pathetic. It's actually worse than I thought. Concrete is like our second biggest revenue generator. But that means we're gonna have to buy more tiles and pollute more land, and at this point in time, I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. Now, I refuse to accept that these companies have high resource costs. And of course they do. It's right beside you, yet you still have high resource costs. What am I supposed to do? Turn the entire map into stone mining? To somehow support $40 million of industrial, we would need 3.72 kilotons. And apparently this isn't enough. And it just keeps getting worse the longer I look at it. Wait, do we own this land? We do own this land. Okay, how about this? One massive stone farm. There, looks amazing. It feels like the city just got more and more unreasonable as time went on. I was trying really hard for the longest time to keep this at least 25% realistic, and I abandoned that completely. I really did want to be the bigger man, but I refused to lose, which is why we now have all of this stone mining, all of this land destroyed, water pumping filled with garbage, water treatment filled with garbage, and the jankiest diamond interchange you'd ever see in your life. In fact, there's only one side. I completely forgot to do the other side. But take a look at that. 339 ton surplus of stone. It looks like the real winner was me. They still have high resource costs. Now we still have 28 minutes left. In my opinion, the next biggest thing is going to be upzoning. And here is all of the upzoning and quite a few problems, but yeah, I think it's fine. We've got 2 minutes left. Let's pay the 32 million, which puts our next goal at 65 million. And honestly, look, we can already pay it, but we're not going to, because we're going to take this money and invest it. Here is a satellite uplink. I'm mostly just adding it as good luck charm. Next, we're going to need the Modern Technical University, because look at the boosts. It's going to be perfect. Yeah, so we're 50 seconds away from our next goal of 65 million. I'm ready to pay, which means in 60 minutes, we have to pay 131 million. And I've been wanting to add more industrial, but honestly, I'm kind of scared. Because when you look at some of these industrial buildings, this one has a 512% efficiency, but take a look at this one. It has 0% efficiency, and they're all fighting for the same resources. They're all gonna hit 0%. And you gotta be kidding me. It's getting worse. Okay, so I have an idea. We need to solve the lack of resources because I'm genuinely scared that this is going to destroy us for the next goal. That means we need to unlock trains, add in a train depot, and then finally, we just need the cargo train terminal, because then we don't have to turn this entire city into a stone mine. I now present the most efficient cargo terminal to ever exist. Either way, we have 30 seconds left to pay 131 million, and that means our new goal is 262 million. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I'm still feeling really confident. 262 million, 48 minutes, I think we can do this easily. But because the industrial is so broken, let's try expanding the residential. We're going to start filling in some of the empty space that we have. We have 30 minutes on the clock, and we're at 226 million. so we need to make 40 million within the next 30 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes left on the clock, and we have this cursed residential area, and that's to complement the other cursed residential area. We are starting to run out of space, and so it is getting a little bit challenging. I guess we could do this area over here, and we might as well buy all the tiles up front. That's going to cost us 15 million. Let's do it. Okay, 262 million, 2 minutes on the clock, which means our next goal is 524 million. We only have 60 million in the bank. And I think from here on out, no more Mr. Nice Guy. We're taxing all of our residential back to 10%. That gives us $5.5 million every hour. Okay, so my napkin math tells me that we're roughly going to be short by 50 million. And at this point in time, I don't really care if we have a lack of resources or high resource costs or whatever it is. We're going to try and zone in as much industrial as we can because we have no other choice. Let's buy all of these tiles, and we really need to be quick now because every single second that we take can easily throw us off from hitting the target. And now all of this is just going to be industrial. You're kidding me, it actually fills in? Okay, that's great. I didn't expect that, to be honest. And here is utilities in the most janky way, I don't even care. That gives us a 260% industrial efficiency boost, but we're still only making 5.4 million. Come on, industrial, tick up. I believe in you. It's so bad, but I don't even care. Here, more industrial, please. Oh, we don't have any more demand. No. I hate unoccupied buildings. Okay, it's fine. I can figure out something else to do while I wait. We have high density demand. Yes, thank you. And all we have demand for is low density. And that's because we have a high unemployment rate, 18%. Whatever, we've got office demand, let's add it in. And if all we have is low density, then we will take it because it's better than nothing. And we definitely can't drop the taxes. In fact, we need office to be at 10%. That gives us $6.7 million per hour. If we could hit around $10 million per hour, I know we can pay this goal. Okay, there's a new grid, and here is a bunch of low density. I think all we can do is expand into this area now. Oh, wait. I have a better idea, and I don't know why I'm just realizing this. And please tell me there's groundwater. Yes, there is. There's 2 geothermal power plants. Only one of them is going to operate at full capacity. And we're going to send these connections directly to the outside world because all we want to do is export electricity. And what about solar? I honestly have no idea if this can make money. Let's give it a shot. At this point in time, we're just going to have to try everything. Okay, 44 minutes on the clock. We can't stop here. It's time to bring out the wind turbines. And we're making 7.1 million. But only 900k of that is coming from electricity. That's awful. 121 million from industrial alone. And I just thought of another desperate strategy. We're going to zone the entire map with low density residential. And look at that. No demand at all. I don't know what to do. The city is dying and I can't save it. Okay, what if we temporarily reduce taxes just to incentivize businesses to move in? The industrial demand is coming back. Yes, new businesses are filling in. It looks a little bit janky. Okay, what if we drop our services? So the most expensive service is parks. Let's drop that down to 50%. And education and research, 50. And look, now it's making us money. Exactly how it should be. Okay, that puts us to 7.45 million. No, 5.5 million? That's way too low. There's only a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. We have no demand, our population is rapidly increasing for some reason, and we're making $7.8 million every hour. It's going to be very, very close. 60 seconds left. Come on, game, you can do it. You can do it. 3, 2, 1, 0. No. The time has officially expired. We were only $14 million short. And that's essentially pennies to a city like this. Industrial makes $132 million per month, office makes $61 million per month, and overall, this has got to be the most profitable city that I've ever seen. Is it the most functional? No. But you know what? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and if you ask me, I think the city is hideous. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Today's shows go to Jake Hill, Gary Key, Mississippi Mikey, Dylan Barnett, James Robinson 23, CNN Osmir, Soyen, the Poop Sheriff, Narwhal, Sebastian Gwynn 7807, Tom Beck, and to every single person who supports this channel. I genuinely can't say thank you enough. If you want sneak peeks, save file access, and much more, you can join us over on Patreon or YouTube. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one.